Thank you very much. She said, I now request our Vice Principal to present him with a memento. I would like to now introduce our next speaker, Ms. Sandhya Shekhar. Sandhya is the Chief Executive Officer of the IIT Madras Research Park. A university rank holder from Madras University, Sandhya completed her management studies from the Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore in 1984. She has worked in the IT industry for over 2 decades. She recently earned her PhD from IIT Madras with a dissertation on knowledge transfer in virtual organizations, winning the International Award for Outstanding Doctoral Research for 2007 from the European Foundation for Management Development and Emerald. In a previous assignment in the industry, Sandhya was a director with Gartner Inc. In the Asia-Pacific region. She set up the consulting practice of Gartner in India. Earlier, she has held positions as Chief Technology Officer of bconnectb.com, a B2B solution provider, Head of Knowledge Management Research in Aptech Limited, and Group Consultant in NIIT Limited. Her key focus areas have been IT-driven business strategy, enterprise solutions, software engineering, e-learning, and knowledge management. She has co-authored a book, Knowledge Management and Enabling Business Growth, published by Tata McGraw-Hill, the first Indian book on knowledge management. She has presented papers in national and international forums and conferences, such as IS One World Conference in Las Vegas, KM World Conference Bitkom, the Nodal IT Association in Germany, CII, NASCOM, etc. Her papers have been published in several leading international journals. I would now like to introduce Sandhya Shekhar to the stage.
Good evening to all of you. I'm convinced that Sukumar here does not like me at all. Otherwise, he wouldn't make me speak after a brilliant speaker like Shri Katadi Ramurthy. Sir, I'm a huge fan of yours, but yours is a very tough act to follow. In fact, when Suku spoke to me about this event, he told me that we are going to have speakers from several walks of life address this group. There's going to be a musician, an actor, a lawyer, somebody who's an expert on CSR, and so on. And I asked him, why me? There was a pause for some time, and he said, well, I guess you could speak about research, innovation, and he trailed off a little uncertainly. And that, my friends, is the story of my life. Nobody has ever figured what I do. And I think that's a happy space to be in, because then you can go ahead and expose your ignorance in all areas and not feel very guilty about it. And if I were to let you into a secret, I think most times I have never been sure what I am up to, accepting the fact that whatever it is I do, I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. So what I really plan to do now is, I think I'm singularly unqualified to pontificate to you about what it means to be in a particular area. That's not my intent. Instead, I think I would like to speak to you as a friend. How many people here are above the age of 20? You know what? I'm very scared of all of them. How many of you are below the age of 20? Guess what? Guess what? I am petrified of all of you. Okay? So anyway, what I can do is to speak to you as a friend. And what does a friend really do for you? I think a typical friend would say, you know what, here's a great movie that's showing in the theater, why don't you go see it? Another friend might tell you, there is a great sale that is on. Go get some cool t-shirts for yourself. So basically what a good friend does is to point you to the good things in life. And I thought I would take the next few minutes to point you to something that I believe is really fantastic. And what I would like to point you to today is what I believe is the great India opportunity. The whole world is talking about India today. The entire globe believes that here is where all the opportunities are. Why is this so? Most companies, all the multinationals, are making a beeline for India. They're setting up their offices here, they're setting up their manufacturing here, because they think ours is a huge market with great potential to make a lot of money and to be successful. So they're all headed towards India. People also believe that India is a great place to be in because there is this huge talent pool that is embodied in every youngster here, which is all of you, and that needs to be tapped. So if you look at any large organization elsewhere in the world who's developing its business strategy, one common question will be, what is your India story? They will ask you, what are you going to do to leverage the expertise and the enormous talent in India? Okay? So that's the second reason why India is a great place. And this is all common knowledge. The third reason is something that not many people might be aware of. Those of you that are familiar with some of the universities in the developed nations might be aware that there is something called a technology transfer office. Now, what does this office do? It actually aggregates brilliant ideas from youngsters, and converts them into patents, so that some of these can be bought over by the industry and converted into commercial products and lead to a lot of commercial success and wealth creation. But guess what? Less than 1/10 of those brilliant ideas and patents are actually converted into something that is commercially viable. Why is that so? That is so because all these are solutions which are waiting for a problem. They have solutions, but not the problems. Now look at the state that we are in today. I think India is full of problems and challenges, and I think that's a very happy space to be in. So success really is predicated on our ability to develop intelligent solutions, simple solutions to cater to problems. So it's as easy as that. Being successful is all about discovering what are the challenges around us, what are the problems around us, and can we come up with some simple solutions, converting these problems into huge opportunities for ourselves. That is the other reason why a whole lot of people are heading the India way. We are getting inundated by companies. We're getting inundated by foreigners who are saying, hey, India is a place of great opportunity. If we develop products and services here, we're going to be successful. We're going to create great wealth for ourselves. What is more, something that works in India is going to work in every developing nation in the world. So imagine just how rich we can become. At this point in time, do you all believe that it is fair that if there is an India opportunity, the first people who should have a go at this opportunity are Indians, are Indian youngsters? How many of you believe that there would be poetic justice if Indians were to have a first go at this opportunity? How many of you believe that? The rest of you don't believe it? Okay, that's about 80% of you. So I think I can safely say that the rest of the 20% is probably sleeping after the tea break. Okay. So why do I believe that it is you youngsters who are in the best position to make use of this tremendous opportunity? It is not just a case of natural justice. It is not just that, hey, you know what, we are a nation of great opportunities, so you're the first people who should have the advantage of that opportunity. No, not at all. That is in its place. But there are 3 reasons why I believe that you are best geared to go and take charge of the situation right now. What is the first reason? The first reason is what I call native intelligence. What is native intelligence? It is something that you intuitively know about a place. If somebody asks you, what is it that works in Mylapore? I think we don't have to be rocket scientists to figure out what works in Mylapore. We know it's a crowded place. We know the kind of cars that can be parked, what works and what does not work. On the other hand, if you want a European to figure that out, it requires a lot of effort. So knowledge about the place in which you are makes you more capable of developing solutions that are specific to the kind of problems that are there. So this native intelligence is vital for success. You look at what Ford Motors did. When they first introduced some of their cars into the Indian market, they were not very successful because they had not been customized to the Indian buyer or to the Indian road conditions. Now they've come up with an offering which has taken into account the realities of the ups and downs and the holes and the potholes in Indian roads, and they're doing much, much better. So that was a learning process for them. On the other hand, what did an Indian company like the Tatas do? They came up with the Nano the first time itself because they are aware of what is it that would work in the Indian situation. Not only has it been a runaway success,